been cheering since I was a little girl. I've started to do more research over it because people began to say it wasn't a sport. Well, cheerleading isn't all about yelling while throwing around pom-poms. It requires strength, endurance, and technique. People tend to think that all cheerleaders are useful for is to stand on the sidelines and cheer on the actual sports. Most high schools tend to think cheerleading is just a bunch of girls wearing skirts and throwing around pom-poms and jumping around. In reality, they lift girls above their heads and do backflips. Does that seem difficult? The answer to that question is that cheerleading is more difficult than you can imagine. And now I'm going to tell you why cheerleading is considered as a sport. Cheerleading follows the definition of a sport because of its high level of physical activity, sets of rules, and the competition. Physical activity is well required for cheerleading. There is a high risk of injury due to stunts, jumps, and tumbling. Doing backflips and throwing girls around couldn't be dangerous, right? Well, think again. Girls go through major injuries, even life-changing ones. These performance elements require a lot of strength. Competitive cheerleaders train just as hard as any other sport. Collegiate-level cheerleaders tend to spend the time amount practicing as other peers involved in varsity sports. According to AACCA.org, it is the position of the American Association of Cheerleading Coaches and Administrators that cheerleading is in a new developing category called athletic activity. However, cheerleading also requires a set of strict rules just like any other sport. Breaking these rules will cause to have penalties. In cheerleading, if you break a rule, you will get a deduction. It is when the judges take points off of the routine. According to TeamNick.com, critics argue against cheerleading as a sport because of its scoring system, which they view as subjective and unfair. There are different levels throughout cheerleading. Each level has different rules. Cheerleading is a very difficult sport that requires many rules and regulations. Before people decide that cheerleading is not a sport, they should look on ESPN to watch high school and college cheerleaders perform at the national championship. Even though cheerleaders practice just like any other sport, they also compete. High school cheer can compete just like any competitive teams can. High school squads get the chance every year to compete just like most teams on any sport. Cheerleaders work hard together and give the routine all they got. Every routine performed is exactly 2.5 minutes long. Those couple of minutes would be the longest minute you would ever experience. You throw your teammates around, jump into the splits, and do backflips all in a 2.5 minute period. However, cheerleading was not counted as a sport in the past, but over the past couple of years, it has become a more physical event. The popularity and respect for the sport has increased drastically. Once people see the hard work that is put into cheerleading, they will think different of the sport. Cheerleading follows the definition of sport because of its physical activity and competition. I wanted to tell you why I highly encourage people to believe that cheerleading is a sport. Thank you.